Even if Caitlin Clark would have played, it would have been a real hard sell. If I had nothing going on, yeah, I might check in.
I want to win for them. Like, seeing how selfless they are and, you know, them choosing to come here and choosing to be a part of the Fever, you know, they didn't have to do that. So I certainly want to win for them, and they deserve it.
$1 million turned down by Caitlin Clark. Let that sink in. The Unrivaled Basketball League offered her a massive paycheck, and she said no. But why? A WNBA general manager just dropped a bombshell. Without Clark or Aja Wilson, this new 3-on-3 league might not survive. They're not just players anymore. They're kingmakers who can determine if an entire league lives or dies. Is this the new reality of women's basketball? Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video. This WNBA general manager wasn't playing around. The message was crystal clear. Unrivaled Basketball League might shut down if they can't get Caitlin Clark or Aja Wilson to join. That's not just big news, that's potentially league-ending news. When Unrivaled launched back in January, they had these massive dreams. They rolled out with some serious star power too. Angel Reese was there, fresh off her college success. Chelsea Gray brought her championship experience. They even grabbed Skylar Diggins-Smith and Lexi Hull. The whole 3-on-3 concept seemed fresh, different, exciting. TNT Sports backed them with money. The venues looked cool, and everyone was talking about this new women's basketball format. But here's where things get messy. The viewership numbers after their championship game, they're dropping fast. TNT Sports is getting nervous, and they should be.
But I can tell you this, I don't know how this league is going to make it for any length of time. All right, they'll try to claim it's some kind of success.
With new teammates, you know, this is basically a new roster. You look up and down, obviously we got 5 players back, but other than that, like, you're trying to build chemistry with your teammates, and you need your rotations. Nobody's going to play a ton of minutes.
When you invest millions in a new league, you expect fans to keep watching. But most games only pulled in about 180,000 viewers. That's not good at all. Imagine putting on a basketball show and only filling up a small arena's worth of TV viewers. You know what's even crazier? This league managed to sign 7 former #1 draft picks and 17 Olympians. These aren't random players. These are absolute ballers who dominated at every level. But the 2 biggest stars in women's basketball right now weren't there. No Caitlin Clark, the rookie who's breaking viewing records in the WNBA. No Aja Wilson, arguably the best player on the planet right now. Their absence is like making a superhero movie without the main characters. ESPN tried to spin it, reporting the first season was a success financially, but industry people are whispering a completely different story behind closed doors.
Let's not mince words. Caitlin Clark is the driving force behind the interest in the Fever and the interest in the WNBA.
Lexi Hull are agreeing to State Farm sponsorships, got the Unrivaled League Caitlin Clark. She's not going to play.
Initial success doesn't mean much in the sports world. You need staying power. You need fans coming back season after season. Without Clark or Wilson, that's looking less likely by the day. We've seen this movie before, and it doesn't end well. Remember the XFL? Started hot with fans excited about a new football league. Then what happened? Viewership crashed. The UFL on Fox? Same story. They lost half their viewers over 3 seasons. Now they're pulling in just 700,000 viewers. Unrivaled could follow the exact same trajectory if they don't fix this star power problem fast. The league executives know the score. They need at least 18 to 20 top WNBA players to keep this thing afloat. But that's getting harder by the day. Players are asking serious questions. Is this worth risking injury? Does the exposure actually help my brand? Will this league even exist next year?
Is we get to see a full strength, at full rested Caitlin Clark for the actual WNBA season.
Like, I think it's just a given that Caitlin Clark wants to play every game. She's a basketball player, especially young players. Like, it's rare that a young player is going to intentionally sit out of a game.
When professional athletes start questioning if you'll be around next season, you've got major problems. So, will Unrivaled actually fold without Caitlin Clark? According to WNBA insiders, it's not just possible, it's probable unless they can attract the biggest names. Clark is driving record WNBA viewership. Her Indiana Fever games are pulling in millions of viewers. She's the most marketable player in women's basketball right now. Without her, Unrivaled loses its best chance at mainstream attention. The format itself is already under fire. Critics are calling it a hobby league that lacks the substance of full 5-on-5 basketball. Viewers complain about visual issues on TV. The court looks small, the camera angles feel awkward, and the whole production doesn't always translate well to television. Then there's the attendance problem. Empty seats don't exactly scream successful league to potential investors or star players considering joining. This is the harsh reality of starting a new sports league.
Maybe they budgeted for CC's salary, but she declined. They opened 6 additional roster spots. They can't afford her even if they tried.
Coming here is far bigger than herself, but you know, that's always what you kind of want from your leader, somebody that's going to be selfless. But at the same time, like, we want to win for her too. Like, she deserves it. So going to try to get her another ring.
You can have a great concept, decent funding, and even some name recognition. But without the absolute top stars, fans just don't stick around. The novelty wears off quickly. Remember how the Big Three basketball league had that initial buzz with retired NBA players? Now hardly anyone talks about it. Unrivaled is at a crossroads. They need to convince Clark Wilson or other megastars that this league is worth their time. But these players have leverage they've never had before. Clark can make millions from her WNBA salary and endorsements without risking injury in a side league. Wilson is focused on building her legacy through championships and Olympic gold. The $1 million offers might sound impressive, but for players who are now becoming household names, the calculation isn't just about money. It's about career trajectory, personal brand, and long-term success.
Almost 3 times the amount of viewers that any other teams without her drew in television ratings throughout the year.
Like, that is the reality, is that Caitlin Clark is almost certainly being low managed. And it's thankfully not the end of the world, because I was getting worried.
When a league's survival hangs on just 1 or 2 players saying yes, that's not just a risky business model, it might be an impossible one. The power dynamic here is totally flipped. Caitlin Clark doesn't need Unrivaled. They need her. She's got the WNBA, endorsements, and a massive fan base already. Meanwhile, Unrivaled is desperate for her star power to keep their league alive. Money isn't even the main issue anymore. Clark has to decide if she wants to attach her name to something that might not exist next season. That's a huge risk for the hottest name in women's basketball right now. Instead of chasing that $1 million check with question marks attached, Clark is focused on her WNBA career and apparently even finding time for golf. Can't really blame her, can you?